All right, let's get started. Good morning and welcome to the California Board of Accountancy Chair, Vice Chair training. Let's have Ms. Reed do a roll call, and that will, we don't need a roll call? Well, then in that case, let's just do introductions. You want to start with you, Jeffrey?
Thank you. My name is Jeff Moline. I've been on the qualifications committee for 1 year now. I've been a licensed CPA in California since 2010 and happy to be on the committee. Thank you.
Michael Williams, I am the QC chair.
Teresa Thompson, newly appointed to EPOC and CPC.
Patricia Batchelor just was reappointed by the governor and to this year, 2024. I'm on.
Christian Latta, board member, secretary, treasurer, and chair of the Committee on Professional Conduct.
Joe Rosenbaum, the president of the Board of Accountancy.
Evangeline Ward, and I will serve as chair for the Enforcement Program Oversight Meeting, EPOC.
Oh, and who do we have on WebEx?
Dan Jacobson, Vice Chair of the Committee on Professional Conduct.
Kathy Johnson, I am the EAC Chair.
Jennifer Benjamin, the EAC Vice Chair.
I'm Laura Ross. I'm the chair of the PROC. I've been on the committee for about 2.5 years, I think.
All right, thank you. And thanks for everyone for being here. We hold this meeting at the beginning of each year to assist the new committee chairs and vice chairs in their new leadership role and to share information for those who are considering a leadership role in the future. During today's meeting, Executive Officer Dominic Franzella and I will be discussing various topics, including roles and expectations of committee members, chairs, and vice chairs, tips to help you conduct a smooth meeting that complies with the Bagley-Keene Open Meeting Act, and then we'll talk about CBA staff roles that support you in your position. I'd like to thank each of you for serving in a leadership capacity, whether this is your second term or you are a new chair or a new vice chair. Your service to the board, consumers, applicants, and licensees is extremely valuable as you guide your particular committee achieving its purpose, which ultimately impacts the CBA's mission of consumer protection. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda then, and diving right in, is an overview of the role and expectations for committee members, chairs, vice chairs of CBA committee. And I've got a little bit to read here, so I will also say ask any questions along the way if you have any. Each of you have a valuable role within the California Board of Accountancy, whether you are a committee member or you serve as chair or vice chair of a committee. In any of these roles, it's important that you have an understanding of the expectations so the committee functions effectively and in accordance with the various laws that govern meetings. More importantly, it's important that the committee can assist the CBA in meeting its consumer protection mission. We have two types of committees. We have statutory committees, including the Enforcement Advisory Committee, the Qualifications Committee, and the Peer Review Oversight Committee. We also have CBA standing committees, which consist of the Committee on Professional Conduct, the Enforcement Program Oversight Committee, and the Legislative Committee. And just briefly, I know you will all have seen the committee roster, and that will give you an idea then of who everyone is and what everyone is responsible for. Let's talk a little bit about attendance and participation. Regardless of the type of committee, attendance and participation at meetings is critical. The committee establishes dates nearly a year in advance to provide ample time for planning. When members don't attend, it can impact the committee's ability to meet if a quorum is not present, and also impacts the committee's ability to conduct applicant interviews or investigative hearings. Similarly important is participation. The reason that each of you were appointed or reappointed to serve in a leadership role was based on your skills and knowledge, with the belief that you will interact and share your individual and invaluable experience. It's okay to ask questions, share your ideas, and request information. This is all part of serving and actively participating on a committee. Do you have any questions on participation and attendance? Okay. Let's move into the chair and vice chair responsibilities. Again, under attendance and participation, the chair of the statutory committees is responsible for ensuring that the members of the committee understand the importance of good attendance and active participation during the meeting. Any attendance, participation, or performance issues should be addressed first by the chair and then brought to the division chief and executive officer's attention. Yen Tu, who's the vice president of the CBA and unfortunately cannot be here with us today, Yen Tu will be communicating with the chairs of the statutory committees to ensure that each member who is being considered for appointment or for reappointment understands the attendance and participation expectations. Now, conducting the meetings. As a chair or vice chair in their absence, you are tasked with running the meeting and are ultimately responsible for ensuring that the agenda is followed and members participate in accordance with the Bagley-Keene Open Meeting Act, and we'll get more into that a little bit later. Staff will provide information to assist you during the meeting, such as a guide on calling for a vote or asking for public comment. The chair is also expected to attend the full CBA meetings. This is beneficial to the CBA so that they can keep apprised of committee activities, but also to the chair so they are aware of policy discussions and the priorities of the CBA. As you are likely already aware, all CBA and committee members must complete various training courses. The legally required training typically must be done within a specific time frame. Staff monitor this training and the requirements and provide members with all the information necessary to complete the training. Now, CBA liaisons. The CBA has appointed liaisons to the advisory committees, the Enforcement Advisory Committee, the Qualifications Committee, and the Peer Review Oversight Committee. These liaisons will be there to provide information to the committee regarding the various activities and actions that have been taken at the board level, as well as give any direction or assignments to the committee. The liaisons and chairs are critical to ensuring the continued communication between the committee and the board. Do you have any questions? If not, in closing, this section anyway, I want to reiterate the important role that each of you fill. The work done in all the committees is extremely critical and valuable to the CBA. Thank you for giving back to consumers and to the profession. I'm happy to answer any questions you have and also have staff available to answer questions. Anything? If not, I will turn this over to Dominic Franzella, the overview of the steps to conduct a committee meeting.
Thank you, President Rosenbaum. So item 3 is an overview for steps to conducting a meeting, from calling it to order to adjournment. And agenda item 3 is the set of materials you have in your packet. And so while many of you have either conducted a committee meeting or watched one and are aware of how they function, it is still a good resource for each step of the meeting. One of the items I wanted to mention is to make sure when you are conducting when you're chairing your meeting, to speak into the microphone and make sure that members participating also do so. We have a WebEx, even if members aren't participating via WebEx, we have a WebEx for the public to be able to participate, and it's occurring concurrently, and that's how they hear what is going on. So it's incredibly important that microphones are close and members are speaking into them so that individuals participating via the WebEx can hear clearly. But after you've opened a meeting, read the mission statement, and established a quorum, as President Rosenbaum had noted, your role is to direct the meeting by following the agenda and ensuring the discussion doesn't veer from what has been noticed It's important to stay on topic and not start talking about items that are not on the agenda at the board meetings. For the standing board committees, we have legal counsel here who will assist us along the way and assist the chair or the president in conducting that and staying on agenda if something comes up at the meetings. For the EAC, PROC, and QC, really the division chief or the staff at the table will be responsible for helping the chairs to maintain staying on quorum or staying on topic, staying in compliance with the Bagley-Keene as it relates to that, and will advise the chair if it feels like the topic is kind of deviating from the noticed agenda item. If you refer to the actual attachments to the item, the first 3 items are samples of what you receive before each committee meeting, and these will also be available to you at the table for your reference when the meeting takes place. Attachment 1 will be tailored specifically to that committee with specific committee information and the staff liaison who will do the quorum, make the roll call votes, and take quorum. Attachment 2 is a guide to assist you when a motion is made and a vote needs to occur. I'd like to stress within that the most important part after the motion has been made, making sure you have a second. I know oftentimes for like the EAC, the PROC, and the QC, there's not members of the public either online or in person, but it's still an important reminder is that the next step is you must take public comment. You can't take that vote until the public comment has been asked and you've received any of the comments for that agenda item. So following the steps to take a vote will help to ensure that public comment is being taken prior to any action. And attachment 3 is available if necessary to respond to comments or public comments, especially if it becomes maybe a disruptive commenter or something of that sort. There is a script here to help respond to those issues, also to respond to any unrelated comments, as you may occasionally have happen at a meeting. A member of the public may want to speak about something that's not on the agenda. There is a script here to assist you to be able to respond to anything that's an unrelated agenda item. And the last attachment for item 3 is the Bagley-Keene, or well, not the entire Bagley-Keene, but the quick tips that the Department of Consumer Affairs provides to new board members, new individuals appointed to the board. So, but it also serves for our EAC, PRC, and QC, and it's the top 10 rules for adhering to the Bagley-Keene. And the big part is obviously our meetings are public with very little exception, both for the board, for the EAC, and the QC. Everything is in public, and there's very limited carve-outs for closed sessions. So ensuring that you have this kind of information after you reviewed it. If you have particular questions, you can reach out to staff. We will probably direct you to legal counsel Canotes over here to help answer those questions. But this is a good quick reference guide for understanding the importance of the Bagley-Keene Open Meeting Act. So after you've conducted your first meeting, you'll obviously start to feel more comfortable in this role, and staff will always be available and present to answer any questions you may have. So with that, I'll turn it back over to President Rosenbaum to see if anybody has any questions on this particular item before I move on to item 4.
Are there any questions? None here, none on the WebEx? Okay, well, let's continue with our next agenda item then. Mr. Frenzella, the staff roles and responsibilities.
Thank you. So, yeah, agenda item 4 is CBA staff roles and responsibilities, which support both the CBA and committee members and meetings. So the CBA staff are committed to aiding CBA and committee leadership and members and to serve as liaison for committee activities. And I'll kind of touch on a handful of points here that the CBA staff participates in offering our support. First is a staff liaison. Each committee has an assigned staff liaison who performs various tasks in relation to the committee meetings, which include first agenda preparation. The designated staff liaison drafts the committee meeting agenda in conjunction with the chair of the statutory committee or with the CBA president for the advisory committees. The CBA staff liaison then obtains legal office approval of the agenda and works to get it posted on the website to ensure compliance with the Bagley-Keene Open Meeting Act. Additionally, staff conduct pre-meetings. So prior to committee meetings, the staff liaison will schedule a conference call with the chair and the vice chair, oftentimes to go over the upcoming agenda, provide a summary of the agenda items, answer any questions, and gather information that members may be requesting. So I would really stress that when staff reach out or looking to schedule that time before the meeting, to get in contact with staff so we can get it put on your calendar and we can make sure that you have the most information you can in order to feel well prepared in order to conduct that meeting for whatever topics that are going to be discussed. The staff liaison also prepares talking points to assist the chair in presenting on items. Talking points and tip sheets are provided to assist the chair in conducting a vote on the particular matter, which was part of the last item. And staff liaison will prepare talking points to assist the chair if they are presenting to the board at a later date. So your board meeting reports, staff will prepare those and get them out to you on the date for the standing committees, the the legislative committee, the Committee on Professional Conduct, and the EPOC. A day like today, we will be having to prepare those pretty quickly right after the meeting because it's the day of, but we will get those to you as quickly as we can so you're able to provide that report to the board later this afternoon. And CBA staff strives to provide excellent customer service in all of its interactions and communications, including those with obviously the CBA and committee members, and stand ready to assist and answer any questions that you may have. We want this to be successful, and we want you to feel comfortable in being able to perform the function as chair or needing to step in to chair if you're the vice chair. And lastly, the staff liaison will assist either personally or working with other members of our team in members' travel, submitting travel claims, getting travel secured, booking flights, hotels, and the like, as well as staff, when we do travel, will be responsible, that staff liaison is responsible for finding locations that are compliant with the ADA, that meet the board or committee's needs, and ensuring that the space is optimal for conducting the meetings. So the staff liaison does have quite a bit on their plate in working with these committees to make sure they run as successfully and smoothly as possible. So with that, I'll turn it back over to President Rosenbaum, and I'll be happy to try to answer any questions members may have.
Okay, we're nearing the end of our agenda anyway. Are there any questions on any of the matters that we've covered so far from anyone? There aren't any right now, but there may be some in the future. And as outlined, please do not hesitate to reach out to any and all that you deem appropriate. You'll find that it's a very rewarding experience. There are plenty of people here to help if you have any issues or problems. Okay, with that, let's conclude the meeting. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Sorry, I had been asked by the staff to give a little overview of my experience, and I didn't know if you were going to ask me, so I'll just talk a little bit about it. And so I've been vice chair, and I'm chair now, and in a past life I was vice chair as well. So knowing Robert's Rules of Order was important, or is important, and I had been on other boards, so I was aware of that. But then you add the Bagley-Keene Open Meeting Act, so it can be very there's a lot of repetitive stuff that happens, but you have to do it. And when you have a meeting like this where you have the public in front of you, and then you have the public online, and then you have the members, you need to kind of follow those steps about opening it up for comments and things because it is a public act. So it's repetitive, and it can be kind of you want to rush through it, but you really got to take your time to go through. And one great thing is to watch the CBA meetings. When you all have your meetings, I see Katrina there. I've watched her many times. I've watched you, Joe. You guys do a great job. And I think the more you do it, the better you get at it. But one of the things you should do is to look at all the materials that are gonna be presented. Get yourself familiar with that. Work with the staff. They're excellent. They give you talking points so that you're prepared. You're prepared for the meeting. It's not as simple as just using the gavel and things like that. And then also, as part of your preparation, you can think about questions that you're going to ask presenters, maybe to get discussion going, and then things like that. And I think that's about it. You kind of get nervous or whatever going through, but once you start and you've done it a couple times, you know what you have to read at the beginning and all that. It becomes easier, but it's about preparation. Thank you.
Thank you. That's good. The voice of experience. Anything else? Anyone? Okay, then we're adjourned.